Moments ago, Assad giving his first interview claiming the chemical strike on Syrian civilians was fabricated in order to justify the U.S. airstrikes on Syria. Leland Vitter covering a lot of this out of Washington today. Leland, good morning to you. Let's do the latest now from Damascus. Good morning there.
Well, good morning to you, Bill. Afternoon in Damascus, and Assad gave an interview to AFP, that is the French news service, in which he called the chemical attack a 100% fabrication and said that his army had given up, quote, all of its chemical weapons after their last chemical attack on civilians. This a quote from President Assad. Our impression is that the West, mainly the United States, is hand in glove with the terrorists. That's what Assad calls anybody who doesn't like him. They, meaning the United States, fabricated the whole story in order to have a pretext for the attack. It's, of course, unclear if anybody, including his Russian protectors, actually believes this statement. As we've heard over the past few days, Bill, the Pentagon says they have a trove of evidence to prove that it was the Syrian regime and their army behind this.
Wow, he even referred to fake videos now because you can't verify a video. His words from Assad. Okay, do we know why President Trump said Russia may have known about this, Leland?
Yeah, it made a lot of headlines yesterday during a press conference with the chief of NATO. We still aren't sure why the president thinks the Russians had prior knowledge of the attack, and the White House has not elaborated. Yesterday, the president's Secretary of State made it clear whatever the boss might think, the United States can't prove it.
With respect to Russia's complicity or knowledge of the chemical weapons attack, we have no firm information to indicate that there was any involvement by Russian forces into this attack. What we do know, and we have very firm and high confidence in our conclusions, that the attack was planned, carried out by the regime forces at the direction of Bashar al-Assad.
Now, this is the same man who just a few days ago made headlines when he charged the Russians with either incompetence or complicity in the chemical attack. Perhaps the single best piece of intelligence involving the Russians is that a Russian drone was seen over the hospital that was treating the chemical attack victims shortly after the bombs dropped. Not long after that, Bill, as you remember, is when the hospital itself was attacked, at least connecting the dots for a Russian cover-up of their allies' chemical attack. Prior knowledge or not, something the Pentagon does not have yet.
Wow. Dangerous time. Leland, thank you. Watching all that from Washington, D.C., Leland Vittert.